Welcome back.
Hi, welcome back. Inspiration Education.
Here's our next episode. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. So one of the things that we feel is important for today's generation, or well, really any generation,
Absolutely,
that's learning anything, is 21st century skills.
And today's 21st century skill that we want to focus on is leadership, the need for leadership. If we're doing student-centered, student-owned learning, we have to cultivate leadership in our kids.
Right. So in this episode, watch for leadership and a lack thereof. And then we'll debrief you on the other end in terms of why leadership is important.
Okay. And should we tell them where we're at? Maybe.
Yeah,
we're in Yosemite.
Oh, I thought you meant like we're sitting out here on the quad at lunchtime.
At our awesome school.
No. Yes, we're at Yosemite, and we have to. Yeah.
You'll see.
You'll see. Okay, here we go. So what we have to do is get from
We're right here
Half Dome Village
to here.
to Lower Pines. That's what we're trying to do.
And I'm pretty sure we just go that way. No, you didn't. Does anybody have an idea? That's west, correct? Why don't you use this little moss? Because I don't see any moss. Where was that? Actually, do you agree with that? Have you been walking?
I can't tell the directions here.
I'm pretty sure something that way. Because otherwise we would have been directed to someone with right? I had to ask her that. So if we just... Alright.
Yeah, because the water's that way.
We just find out where we are.
Let's ask someone.
Brr?
Hey, we should ask someone.
Oh.
What's our campsite number?
62. Realize that we're trying to figure.
Ask someone here, like a local or a visitor, because no one's listening.
We're using our resources.
So they've discovered a map that actually someone in the group already has. Did not tell this part of the group.
They told them, and they're not listening because they're flirting. Not gonna lie. Like,
Look how easily
hardcore flirting.
this group can get separated.
So they're not listening.
What if we never get back to our campsite?
Well, then we're just chilling.
Could we go ahead and regroup? Could we hoof it a little faster?
In Korean, what's the word for it?
Okay.
I mean, I know it's Korean.
Still taking pictures.
But what do you call it? Like, what does it?
Another 3 here. The rest of the group way up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Note, the first part of the group is not checking to see if the rest of the group is with them. They're just thrilled. I think they found the campground. But so far, no one has looked back. And the other 2 are way down there. Thank you. Still, the other girls are taking pictures. You see them? Way down there. Still, no one's looked back. Can't see the other girls now. But I am being safe. I know they're back there. Did you guys purposely wait for us, or? So you did purposely wait for us?
Yeah, totally.
Was that Nathan's idea or your idea?
We also totally waited for Lucy.
Excellent. Oh, they're starting to...
Rachel!
Yeah, Bailey and Rachel.
Bailey! Come on!
Go call for Bailey. She never did.
Come on, you chonks! Chonkers! I want chonkies.
Oh, you can see them now. Oh, and now they're running. Would you look at this?
Garments?
What?
Question?
You're chonking, apparently?
What are you talking about?
Is anyone, have we given up?
In the mirror every morning. Oh, look at that squat.
Super
My back
duper
is killing
dysfunctional
me.
family right now.
pooper? Yeah? Super? Super duper pooper.
Wait, if they lead you off a cliff, you would follow?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get that? Oh, they picked the right direction. We almost went that way. They're making it. Look, they're down there. Huh, wonder what that is there. Huh, interesting. Okay.
Lower Pines Campground.
Oh, whoa.
Our campgrounds?
What?
We're like in the background.
Okay,
We're back.
so welcome back.
We're so back.
Hi!
She was
We
waiting.
will.
We were in Yosemite, still in Yosemite at this particular time. And so I gave them a map and was just like, as you saw, like, figure out how to get home. Let's just figure out how to get there.
And it really wasn't all that far. Maybe in the video
No.
it looked far, but it really wasn't. It was like a 5-minute walk.
Yeah. So, so the reason why we want to bring this to you is because this was actually a failed attempt at one of the 21st century skills that modern day educators are asked to try to have their students learn and do well, and one of those is leadership. And so it failed because we never gave the students an opportunity to learn how to do that first, how to be a leader. We do a lot of leadership training with our seniors.
A ton of it before the school year begins, and we actually do that formatively in a number of our classes. But these were sophomores and juniors, and we haven't really developed those skills in them yet.
Right.
And so we're just like, oh, we'll just do it. And it just didn't work very well. Something that, another 21st century skill that is dovetailed with leadership is initiative. So it was really interesting to see the lack of initiative. And then on some others, flexibility is also a 21st century skill. So to see how those three were not dovetailed very well. And so when we ask kids to do that in class, when we don't train them, look how frustrated they get. So we're like, why aren't you being a leader? Why aren't you being flexible? Why aren't you taking initiative? Well, if we haven't done the training and the formative assessments for even that, and then we throw them into these situations to be leaders, of course they're going to be frustrated and not going to enjoy the learning or get anything out of the learning.
Right. So one of the big points here is teaching your students how to have and to model those 21st century skills and not just expect them to automatically be able to do that.
Right.
So
take risks. Don't forget to take those risks to just be like, here's a question or here's a problem, go figure it out. But we've got to set them up for success.
Well, and there's just one other thing too, is that, well, there's lots of things, but another thing that I would like to say is that leadership can take the form of and can take many different forms. And so, for example, in the classroom, as you're trying to develop for students what leadership looks like, I just did this last week where we broke off into mini groups in the classroom, and I asked the students to self-identify. Are you
this
a
is
great?
so cool.
So self-identify. Are you a great reader? And I gave like a definition of what a great reader is. Are you a great writer, or are you a great translator? Because we were reading an older primary source of American history. Or are you a great public speaker? And they self-identified in one of those corners, and then we broke them up into groups where there was one member of the team based on those definitions. And so in that way, I'm helping these students to develop the skills that they have, so that in the future, when they're in these groups, they know what is the best way that they can lead and what's the best way for them to take a step back and let other people lead.
So an important part of the model when we're doing student-centered learning is to make sure to have defined roles. So what's your goal? What's your role? What are you being assessed on? All those things are all part of that. When they have the clear picture of all those things, they can lead better. That's a really great point. Helping them to, I love the self-identify piece. What are your giftings, that kind of thing, and then to see and then how did it work? Did it work really well?
Oh, it worked really, really well, actually. And what's really cool is that when they do that, they own it. And so,
wow, that's so great.
There's like buy-in. So again, just definitely want to try to employ 21st century skills into our teaching, and we can unpack all different kinds of methods of doing that and what are some of those other 21st century skills in later vlogs. But in this one, it's about leadership. But again, you can't just throw your kids in there and just expect them to lead. What does leadership look like? How can you own it and guide them and give them constant practice so that eventually they're going to run with it and they're going to do really great.
What a great job you did in that class. That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks
That's
for
it.
watching.
And we'll see you next week.
You betcha.